Spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes with all the chief spices. Song of Solomon 4:14 reminds me of sugar and spice and all things nice. For this one I was looking into calamus, and actually I was looking into it originally because in doing some research for one of my poems that I'm writing for the PhD, the word came up in relation to part of a bird's feather. And then my crazy little head said, oh, is that mentioned in the Bible? And it is, but as a spice, not as a bird's feather, or possibly a metaphor for both. The spice has got lots of different names, including myrtle, grass, or myrtle sage, I think. Myrtle is also referenced elsewhere and has been linked to various goddess figures, including the Virgin Mary. My image is kind of like somebody stood up holding out their arms, connecting to other people, like around, sort of almost in some sort of vase type symbolism, where perhaps the bits we're seeing in between are like panes of glass or something similar, with like a dragon on top. There's also some figures here. This one looks seated, someone behind, and then someone to the right, sort of also sat down perhaps, with someone far left stood up looking really tall, perhaps in a protective stance. Far left, it's almost reminded me of this idea of someone being on the cross, but it's not quite a cross there, and it's also a bit like a figurehead on a boat. There is a cross slightly to the right in orange. And there's a figure on the far right as well, just looking similar. I guess reference to three, because there's like these three pillars held together. And there's this character at the top, which I thought looked a bit like a dragon from far away, but close up, not so sure. And then there's these two figures sort of in that pane on the right-hand side, which I showed in a separate video the other day when they first appeared. Looks a bit like a staircase, but a reverse staircase off to the right of them. I like this one. I like the balance of colours. I think it's really beautiful. I haven't explored too much about like different meanings of those terms from the original text, partly because I think I've used calamus again in a different image because I was so intrigued. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.